Just look at this landscape. It was carving its soul out of sandstone millions of years before we arrived, and it will be quietly erasing our footprints long after we're gone. Places this vast have a way of stripping away all pretense until there's nowhere left to hide. They are the only things big enough to put everything into perspective. Come explore with me, not as a master of the trail, but as a humble student of the wild. Last week at Chaco, we saw how humans built up to meet the stars. But here, the story flips. Nature spent millions of years carving down, patiently eroding layer after layer to expose the Earth's oldest secrets. Driving into Island in the Sky, the world opens up. You're suddenly on a floating mesa, 1,000 feet above the riot of canyons below. The air carries the sharp scent of juniper and warm stone. Yet, no matter how carefully I plan at home, the moment I stand here, the wilderness strips away the illusion. For me, as a woman traveling solo, that illusion shows up as the GPS, the maps, and the spreadsheet itineraries. They're my digital security blankets. These whisper that I'm in charge. But pulling over at the Shafer Overlook, that comfort vanishes. It's a stomach flipper. I stood there staring at that narrow dirt ribbon of the Shafer Trail, switchbacking 1,500 feet straight down the sheer cliff. One strong gust of wind, one long look over that edge, and any pretense of control I thought I had just falls away. Even the names here refuse to sugarcoat it. Dead Horse Point, the Needles, and the Maze were coined by the ranchers and cowboys who ran cattle through these canyons in the late 1800s. They lived in primitive winter camps for months at a time, huddled in the same alcoves once used by the ancients. To them, this place wasn't just beautiful scenery. It was a daily struggle for survival. At Cave Spring, the world narrows to the cool shade of the alcove. Here, the desert wind softens, keeping time with the slow rhythmic drip of a seep, a precious pulse of water that has sustained life for 1,000 years. Whether you were an ancestral Puebloan, a cowboy in 1890, or a seeker today, the canyon demands the same thing of us all. It asks you to dig deeper, until only what's real remains. I also ventured down to the more remote Needles district. Hiking among those towering striated spires feels intimate and alive. On the short Pothole Point Trail, shallow depressions dot the open slick rock. When it rains, they fill with water, creating tiny, miraculous ecosystems teeming with microbes, fairy shrimp, and snails. The ancients scooped life-giving water from these same basins. They remind me that renewal often hides in the smallest hollows. That search for a life lived on your own terms is exactly why this place feels so cinematic. Dead Horse Point, named for a high desert corral where horses were once left to the elements, was the real backdrop for the finale of Thelma and Louise. Here, the Colorado River twists in a dramatic gooseneck 2,000 feet below. with Canyonlands stretching endlessly beyond. I hiked a short section of the rim trail as the afternoon light shifted. It's said that during the filming here, there was a suggestion to change the ending, to have one woman push the other to safety at the last second. But the story wouldn't allow it. They chose the wild over the cage. I'll admit it, I used to come to places like this chasing the perfect photo, already planning the next stop while I was still on the trail. I saw the sights, but I missed their soul. Now this old seeker is learning that these wild places speak, if I'm quiet enough to listen. Their wildness teaches that the most beautiful landscapes and the most beautiful lives are what remain after the soft, easy layers have been stripped away. Standing here at the edge, where the drop is real and the vastness humbles everything, I want my grandkids to know this. Don't be afraid to look deeper. Be afraid of the shallow life, because it's only in the deep places, where even the smallest pothole can hold an entire fleeting ecosystem, that you finally hear the call of your own heart. And with grace, find the courage to answer it.